Recently, a student asked me, what is the difference between my emotion and processing my emotion and someone else's emotion? And I thought this was common knowledge, but clearly it isn't. So I thought I would make a video explaining the difference. So as empathic beings, we are always absorbing other people's emotions, other people's fears, limiting beliefs, and subconscious programming. So it's really important to know, okay, what is my stuff and what is someone else's, right? Because we want to live in our truth and process our emotions and let go of other people's stuff that don't really belong to us. So if I can process something, that means it is my emotion. It is my thing. If I cannot process it, it means it belongs to someone else. Now, how do I know if I can process it? Okay, so for example, say I am running late and it's causing me anxiety, right? So this is how I would trace or track my process. I'm running late, I'm getting anxious. Why am I getting anxious? And then we start tracing it. Okay, I'm getting anxious because I'm late. Because why? Because I feel like I'm wasting people's time. I feel like I have to do everything perfect. Why do I feel like I have to do everything perfect? Let's go back to the source of this. Okay, I was raised in a restaurant. Everything had to be perfect. Everything had to be chopped and sliced and washed and put away perfectly. So everything had to be perfect, and there was no room for error. Right? Everything had to be cooked by a certain time. We had to eat by a certain time. We had to open by a certain time. And if we didn't, you know, if one of us didn't do what we were supposed to do, then the whole thing would not work, right? So it's like, oh, okay, I understand where my anxiety comes from when I am running late. It all comes back to when I was a child and felt like everything had to run on time, and if it didn't and I didn't do my part, then things will fall apart and I would be responsible, right? So it's that pressure. And so knowing where it comes from, the source of the anxiety, then now I'm able to process that and go, oh, okay, that's where it comes from. Well, I'm no longer a child and I don't have to do everything perfectly. Nothing's going to fall apart, right? Everything's going to be fine. And then that anxiety starts to process in the body, and then I'm able to let that go and relax. And if I'm late, that's fine. Nothing bad is going to happen. It doesn't make me a bad person. And then already that anxiety starts to subside. However, if it is someone else's anxiety, right, I would say, okay, where is this anxiety coming from? What is it about? If I cannot figure out where this anxiety is coming from and what it's about, I'm not able to process it, which means it doesn't belong to me. In which case I would say, okay, whoever it belongs to, just delete it, release it, remove it, let it go. Let go of other people's anxiety, right? And you can just swipe down over your heart center, over your solar plexus, and literally feel the energy of that anxiety move through your body, okay? So if you can process an emotion by tracking it and tracing it back to its source and having an understanding, insight into where it comes from and what it's about, you can process it. And if you cannot figure out where that emotion's coming from or what it's about, then just simply delete, release, or remove it from your solar plexus, from your heart center.